coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Hey man, shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Man, the way I always tell y'all, your health is your wealth. I'm gonna bring y'all dude today, man. Dude name is Tommy. He's in the fitness, but he's also been through some things, man. He went to prison at the age of 16, in New York City, started out at Rikers Island, and he ended up doing 27 years, man. And he's out. He's doing well. It's one of these stories, man, that I say, man, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. So I want to bring y'all the story, man, and let him tell y'all his experience in the belly of the beast. Man, y'all welcome Tommy, man. What's up, champ?
Good morning. Good morning, Banky, Team Banky Pound, the whole chat, man.
Already, man. Appreciate you, man. We've been trying to make this happen for a minute. It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure, man. Tell the people, man, about yourself.
My name is Tommy. I came out the house in Brooklyn, East New York, Brooklyn. That was my neighborhood, and fell into the street life as a kid. I was in and out of juvenile institutions between the ages of 13 and 16, and at the age of 16, that's when things got different. The crimes got much more serious. The things I was involved with got serious, and I got locked up, and I was charged with two cases of homicide, two different cases, and I ended up with a sentence of 25 years of life, and I didn't leave prison until I was 43 years old.
Man.
That's in a nutshell. That's the short version.
Yeah. So the first time that you actually went to prison was 16, and that was 27 years later before you ever saw the streets again.
Yes, but when I was in for a year, almost a year, they actually released me by mistake, and I got 4 weeks out, and then I got snatched up again and continued on, and then for another 26. So it was 27 on that. They just messed up and left me out for 4 weeks.
For 4 weeks, you ain't trying to get gone.
Yeah, I had plans in the mix. You got all these big plans, man. I'm ready to run. I was hustling. I was on my own selling crack. I was getting involved with all kind of violence. And one of my boys' girlfriends, one of my boys who was locked up, his wife told the police where I was, that I was wanted for murder, and they came and got me. And the reason she told the police where I was because she was out there cheating on him with dudes, and she was worried I was gonna run back and tell him. So this young woman called the police and said, "Yeah, Tommy, yeah, he's on the run. He's wanted for homicide, blah 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 blah," and it got me locked up.
Man,
Word.
it's always something like that, man. It's the people that you know, man, be the ones that drop the dime on you, man, because they know the information. But
That I
that's
that I
crazy.
know my whole life.
Yeah, it's always like that, The my co-defendant on my case, man, I knew him my whole life. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up saying that it was all him. It was all him. I was just with him, so I
Yeah.
know how they go. But so 16 years old, man, you get out, you get the break or whatnot, and then they get you, snatch you back up. So you go in at 16 years old and you in Rikers Island at 16.
Yeah.
So how was that experience, man? What was in your mind frame? How was that experience? How long did you stay there?
You know, when you first go to Rikers Island, you on a bus. You locked up, you handcuffed, you shackled. It's like the song Cream, Cash rules everything around me. Said 40 of us locked up on the back of a bus. And you on that bus and you approach Rikers Island, you see the big signs of Rikers Island. You heard the stories, you know the reputation. I started getting butterflies in my stomach. I was nervous. And then you go over this bridge. Once you over this bridge and you on this island, like it's a whole different world, man. And it's dog eat dog. A lot of times, as soon as you step through the doors in the housing area, you might have someone trying you within 5 minutes. Like it's sometimes before you get through the door, It'll be dudes trying you verbally, looking at you, scheming on you, because you used to be able to have your own clothes, and that was one of the big things dudes used to fight over. Leather jackets, jewelry, used to be able to have chains, gold, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it was on. It was on. You got a bunch of young, thirsty dudes, and they trying to get money however they can. They dudes trying to survive, and here comes Joe Blow, little skinny dude coming on with a nice chain around his neck. They might want that. Might have a nice new pair of sneakers. They might want that. Like I've fought for my sneakers and various different things.
Man, yeah, that's rough, man. Especially like I said, the age of 16. Okay, and then like everybody knows the stigma. You going to prison, man. You're looking at the bigger dudes. You're looking at people they're looking at you. And then what's your ethnicity?
I'm half Cuban and half Irish.
Half Cuban and half Irish. So the average dude when you in New York, New York is a melting pool, of different
Yeah.
people. So they looking at you like this is a white boy, or they looking at you like, oh well, who is he? Or how did you feel the vibe or how you was being perceived when you first come in? Because you're already young. That's already the way they looking at you in one way. So was it perceived like that, or did you feel any of that?
Oh, absolutely. Without a fact, if you was going on the Rikers Island, you was going to New York State prison, you was white, you was going to be targeted more. More than likely, you was going to be seen as weak. And the way I look, I got all European features. I'm Cuban, but I got all European features. So
Right.
that was the look. One, I was mad skinny. I was when I went on Rikers Island, I was about a buck 52, buck 53, 5'10". You know what I'm saying? So it looked like I wasn't a physical threat. So at the same time. So yeah, I was getting tried, man. I could tell you about some of that.
Yeah. Tell about the first time somebody approached you in a way where you felt like you had to let them know that or what your stance was, or did you feel at that time I got to make a stance, I got to let people know, you know what I'm saying? Or did you have that mentality in you already?
I had the mentality, but I ain't have the physicality. You know what I'm saying? Uh, uh um and prior to me coming in, just prior to me coming in, I got shot with a Mac 11. I got shot in the side of my rib cage. It shoots 9 millimeter bullets. It's a fully automatic weapon. I got shot in the side of my rib cage. It came out the other side. Right? I had a collapsed lung. Bullet went through my liver, my small intestine, took off a third of my right kidney, shattered my spleen, came out. I died twice. They brought me back with the paddles. I can't think of the name right now. Defibrillators that shock your heart into beating again. Brought me. So when I went on to Rikers Island, I was physically weak. And on my first day there, I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping overnight. Like, you get there at nighttime, whatever, make your little bunk, see what's good. You can't see what's going on. Most people sleeping, whatever. It's a dormitory. It's 50 beds. It's an open area. You know, I take my kicks off. Put them in the locker. Coat, had an army coat, put the army coat in the locker, all my little shit. I put in the locker, I'm in my drawers, I'm knocked out, I'm exhausted because you in the bullpens. The bullpens is when you get locked up in the precinct and you in the cell. Sometimes they move you to a different precinct, then you go to central booking. Sometimes it's like a week before you hit Rikers Island. You exhausted. And I got woken up. Two dudes had me hemmed up on the bed. One dude had a pick. He had a pick on my neck. Other dudes, they was holding me down. So shut the fuck up. They took my kicks. They took my clothes. They gave me some bullshit. So when all that came up, I was scared. So now I went and approached the dude. I'm not even gonna say his name. I went and approached him. I was like, "What's up? I want my shit. Give me my shit. Give me my shit right now." Boom. Kind of like I went after. I kind of followed him, and he turned around with that pick, and I didn't want no part of the ice pick. I froze. I got scared. I sucked it out in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And that was a new Jack housing area, and I felt like, nah, I can't stay with this. I can't live like this. So out of that New Jack area, which is considered a reception house, I got moved. Now when I was in another house, I'm starting to heal up from the gunshot wound. I'm starting to know how this Rikers Island is. I had a friend of mine. He rode me a kite. He's my boy from the street. He's a wild, wild dude. a little small dude that he could just fight his ass off. He's a wild dude, and he was in the building. He was on Rikers Island, the adolescent building at the time. He wrote me a kite, and this is what he told me. He said, "Listen, man, you was killing dudes on the street. Ain't nothing changed now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna send you a razor. You cut three punks and one live dude, and your name is gonna be ringing bells throughout this building." I'll never forget him telling me that. And anyway, I'm in the next house area, and this is the next time when everything changed for me. So I go to another house. I go to court. What do? I did the same thing happened to me. I robbed a kid in court. So I got brand new sneakers. I got brand new clothes. I took his shit. So now when I'm in the house, once again, I'm sleeping. I'm on the bunk. I'm knocking out. Tell you shouldn't be sleeping in prison. But when you live in a dormitory, at some point you have to go to sleep. You're just human. You have to go to sleep. And you're in a dormitory with 50 dudes. So I'm in a dormitory and I'm sleeping. And something told me to wake up. And I woke up. And it's a dude walking away from my bed. And he got my sneakers in his hand. And I ran behind him. I grabbed the sneakers. And he turned around and he backed up and he threw his hands. He said, chill, chill, don't blow it up, don't blow it up. Go to the bathroom, let's fight for them sneakers. So I put my sneakers on, I went to the bathroom and we knuckled up. Now I wasn't much of a fighter. I was about a buck 52, buck 51, 5'10". You know, I never had no formal training fighting. Well, I didn't know this kid could box. He was shorter than me. He had about 25 pounds on me. He was in good shape. And I remember fighting with him. Well, I could throw my hands at him now, but at the time I didn't know how to fight. I remember throwing a joint and he slipped it, boom, and he hooked me. He hit me with a hook in my temple. At the moment he hit me with that hook in the temple, it's like someone turned off the light switch. I fell on one knee. When my knee hit the ground, it woke me up. So I got one knee on the ground. I grabbed like around his waist, and he's just catching me, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, chill, let me up, let's throw hands. Now I'm fine. Now I'm in it. Once the adrenaline's going, I feel like I'm just in it now. You know what I'm saying? Win, lose, draw, whatever. So I get up, we go out again. He like two-piece me, boom, boom, drop me. And it was a few dudes. He had a few dudes because he's from Brownsville, Brooklyn, the same neighborhood as Mike Tyson. And it was him, and it was like three other dudes from his neighborhood who was in the bathroom with me. And I remember he was like, yo, take the sneakers off. I'm like, nah, I ain't taking off nothing. I got up. I'm like, yo, we just keep fighting. And I remember one of the dudes who was with him, he was like, yo, chill. He's like, yo, leave him alone. He was like a leader. I can't even think of the dude's name now if I tried to. He was like, yo, leave him alone. He's good, man. He went out for his. He good. And he's from Brooklyn. I was from East New York, which is a neighborhood right next to Brownsville. And from there, it started changing for me. It was like at that point, I was like, this is what it is. This is how I gotta live. It's not that I was a tough guy, I was a gangster. I was none. I was just a regular kid. But I knew that in this world, it was dog eat dog. So guess what? It's time to step up. And I took the same philosophy I took on the street. You know, I started picking up weapons. You like to call it the Bethlehem. You know, dudes that use things that would slice, that would rip. You know, and I wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't one of the dudes going crazy with it, with a crazy reputation. I'm not that guy. But I learned to stand up, and I learned to be very violent. You know, I wasn't the toughest dude, but I learned how to be dangerous, and it
Yeah,
is what it is. You know.
yeah, and man, that right there is the philosophy that I be telling these young dudes. See what I'm saying? It's something that you ended up, obviously, because you here, you know, and there's a lot more to your story, but that right there is the nook and cranny. That like on the street, you known violent because you playing with weapons. You understand? But when you go to prison, you a buck 50, buck 41. You admittedly say, I ain't got no real squabbles. That ain't my game. But I tell these youngins, that's what you gonna have to do in prison. So you better be prepared. Now, you prevail because you here, but a lot of dudes they're not gonna get that in their chest. That like, okay, now I got to learn how to bumble. Now I got to learn how to fight with that Bethlehem. Now I got to learn how to use these razors. Now I got to learn how to tussle with 2 or 3 dudes if need be. I got to learn how to do that. And a lot of dudes ain't cut from that. They ain't got that type of heart. And the thing about you and your story thus far, what you telling, I know you genuine because you being real. You like, man, I was scared, and you know the dude did. Because, bro, it's a different mindset when you faced with that ice pick and that Bethlehem down on you, and you ain't got nothing. Or, and even if you got one, that's a different mindset to look at that and to still move forward. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's deep right there, man, and that's real. And I hope they get that message.
And chiming in on that, you know, so you might have a lot of dudes like I was when I was young. I'm like, you know, what I don't have enough game, I'll pick up the Bethlehem. What? No, no, it's dudes who take that out your hand.
I try to tell
It's dudes who will knock you out, take that Bethlehem and put that in you.
them.
Like
Yeah,
and you got people, you know, and you know this and you see this, man. You got dudes in that's nasty with the martial arts. All they do is practice how to take weapons away. Like
yeah,
it's not like if you standing 20 feet away from someone and you got a firearm, you great. When you up close and personal, and someone can grab that wrist, someone can grab that Bethlehem, it's a
that's
problem.
it,
That's
and
why I
it,
always prefer the smaller one because a bigger one is easier for the enemy to grab.
and you so right, and that's the thing I tell the youngest too. And they say, well, you know, I speak at the juvenile detention centers, I speak at the high schools and junior highs, and I be telling, well, you know, you get in prison, this, oh, I'm gonna get me, I'll just get me one too. I say, you think they ain't prepared for that? You think they ain't ready for that? You know what I'm saying? I said, bro, it's some dudes would take that out your hand, and then it would justify them taking your life. You understand me? Because they're gonna say they took it from you, and they're gonna plead self-defense. And you, and if it came from you, then a dude can do what he want to do to you. You ain't prepared for that. When I first went in, dudes was taking literally, like I got the bracelet on, they would take it and make the Bethlehem and have a hole in it and connect a string to it in a knot and put it around your wrist and twist it. Then hold it when they go at you so you couldn't snatch it out their hand. You understand? Even if you tried to, it was to their wrist, you had to untwist it and get it off or whatever. So all of these is part of warfare in there, man. And like you said, it's up close and personal. This ain't no, oh, I got the gun, man. I can shoot you across the
Right.
street or something, man. And nah, bro, you're gonna have to get in it to get in it, you know. And that takes a man. And a lot of these dudes don't understand that, man. And I be telling them, be careful, man, out here on these streets. Don't act like that it's so bad that it can't get worse. Cause it get a lot worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you going through all this and all that, so what was your like first real physical altercation that whereas to you had to really put some work in to hurt somebody or you got hurt, you know what I'm saying, in your situation doing this play?
Oh, it was a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. Getting hurt. You see what I got here? I was cut from here all the way across my grill.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
ask you about that. Explain that if you will.
okay, so that was my first day in prison. Rikers is like a county jail. When you do your time, you end up going to prison where you serve a prison time. It's more big boys. And my very first day, dude got up on me and caught me. Now, not because I was an innocent victim, not because he was talking to me, because there was a dude that I was going to war with on the streets. I ran into him on Rikers Island. We got into it on Rikers Island. He was talking crazy. He was really talking crazy about me. We were in court buildings, and I ended up cutting him. Boom, 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 and we fought in the bullpen. So he was already in state prison, but he just came back down to Rikers Island because he had another court case. So guess what prison I go to when I come up? I go right to his prison, right where the enemy's at, right where he's strong, right where he's ganged up, right where he got a crew. And I'm 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I lost weight on Rikers Island. I went from like 152 to like 145. I'm a skinny little kid. And he sent someone at me. And dude got up on me, came behind me, mop, and caught me. Now, razors and scalpels were very much preferred weapons in New York State. There's about the Bethlehem as well. Don't get it twisted. But the razors and scalpels, they were very easy to move around. You know what I'm saying? It was much easier to move around. So that was also a very common thing then.
Yeah, man, that's a nasty cut. How many stitches you end up having to get for that?
Only had 24. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It probably
24 a lot.
probably looked so bad, you know?
Yeah, and then that's a whole nother issue. I be telling dudes too. The medical, I don't know how it was up there, but down here, man, it's crucial too with that medical, man. Because if you get hit up or you get sliced up or cut up, man, you in a fight for your life because medical is so horrific, man, so horrible that they take their time. They can't get you there in time. They can't get the proper, people to do the proper work on you. So that's a whole nother issue, man. So yeah, that's crazy. How old were you when that happened?
19.
19 years old. So did that change your mindset from that point on now that you actually know because you got to deal with this now every day for the rest of your life?
It really didn't change my mindset because I've already used weapons on people already. So I knew at some point I was going to get hit. It's not, and that's another thing these kids think. They think they're going to come inside, they're just going to be beating people up, and not going to happen to them. They're just going to be using Bethlehem.
Yeah,
They're going to do all these crazy things, and ain't never going to come back to them. No, the more you do it, the higher the chances it's going to come. You know what I'm saying? It's like boxing. I know we all say hit and don't get hit, right?
right.
It's sweet science, but you gonna get hit. The more punches you throw, the more open it's for your opponent to hit you. It's the same thing when you think you're gonna be a gangster, you run around laying down that Bethlehem and all that. Guess what? You ain't the only tough dude in the building. You know what I'm saying? You ain't
Great,
the
great analogy, champ. Great analogy, and that's what I tell people as well. I was like, bro, once you first pick that Bethlehem up in prison, you use it on somebody, right? Now you have alerted everybody else that you know what I'm saying. You have literally alerted everybody else that you dangerous and you will use that. So the mindset of you now is that if I got a problem with Tommy, then I know it's gonna be a serious problem because Tommy gonna use that Bethlehem. So now my mindset is either to avoid confrontation with Tommy, or if I got an issue with Tommy, try to figure out how to take Tommy out because I gotta make sure Tommy don't hit me up. So when you use the weapon in prison, you have also created the stigma that I got somebody got to kill you because you're dangerous and they don't want you to kill them. So people don't look at it like that, but it's both sides, man. It ain't no such thing as you. It's gonna be all you and no me. Nah, it's gonna be both ways. So that's the mindset that people have to have, and I understood that early myself as well. Like I say, 33 years. I ain't go unscathed. I do hit me one time I was asleep. You know what I'm saying? So it happens like that. So it's just fortunate, for me that what I'm saying. He just ain't had that killer in him. He just was trying to hurt me, and he was scared. But at the same time, if he was more prepared, I wouldn't even be here. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even
yeah.
be here. So yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword, champ, man. So man, so 19 you cut, so you start moving around. What was like one of the first major prisons you went to, and how was that? Because you in Rikers Island, so I'm assuming you
Yeah.
transitioned from that to the prison.
First major spot I went to, they did a whole HBO show about the dudes who broke out, escaped from Dannemora. So Dannemora, New York, was a prison called Clinton Correctional Facility. That's the first place I went on day one I got hit. Um, so maybe a month and a half later, they pushed me out to Great Meadow Correctional Facility, which is another maximum joint. I was in
Pause
bad.
1 minute. I don't mean to stop you, but pause 1 minute. So
Sure.
you mean to tell me when you went to Clinton, that's your first day in the prison from Rikers?
Day one.
Day one, you get hit in the face.
Day one.
Real as it get right there. Message to everybody.
I was there. I was in Attica. Y'all heard about the Attica riots. I spent over 6 years in Attica. That was that was where I really came of age where I grew into an adult in Attica Correctional Facility. That's where I got into all kind of shit. Attica was wild. Attica was predatory. In Attica, you had to worry about the police killing you just as much, if not more, than another prisoner killing you. Because in policing, they was notorious for killing prisoners. And the police who did kill prisoners, they were celebrated. They was like heroes out there. They had all the props with the COs. It's wild. Attica's like being in Mississippi, like pre Jim Crow type shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, that sound like to me is like these Wallace Reds and Red Onion is what we got down here. You know, these police, man, they was like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what to call them, man. Like the Gestapo or something. Or like, you know, they could do whatever they wanted to do to you, man, for a minute, and really still right now. You know what I'm saying? They was getting away with a lot of stuff up there, man. I'm talking about they had some bodies that they done beat and claimed, you know, self-defense, and or they was doing their job and all. They was brutalizing dudes up there, man, and they still doing it to this day. You know, they got a big thing going on right now, Red Onion, man. You got dudes literally setting themselves on fire because they hate the conditions up there and they're begging to be moved. You had like 12 guys just recently made the news setting themselves on fire. You know what I'm saying? So this is the brutality that they imposing on convicts and inmates up there, man. It's sad and it's a shame. And that's just another part of you having to deal with things when you locked up without your freedom, man. That's why I be telling these young people, man, you better take a good look at your life, because there's a lot more going on, man, on the other side of the world called prison. So you up in this joint, and did you end up ever having any issues like with COs that you had to really deal with?
In Attica, yeah, in Attica, police did not like me. So when I was in Attica, when I first went there, I was in what you call a long-term keep lock. It's like the box, but it's not the box. Basically, you lock in your cell 23 hours a day. You got these rec cages you go to for recreation, but you got your property. Whereas when you go in the box, it's the same thing. You locked in 23 hours a day, but you just don't got no property. Like you pretty much bare. You know what I'm saying? Um, not you're not butt naked. You got like two sets of like two prison uniforms, the shirt and pants, and like three pairs of underwear and socks, and a pair of skate sneakers, a Bible. You're up to allowed like 10 books, and like that's about it. You know what I mean? Your mail, pen and paper, write letters, but basically minimal when you in the box. And this long term keep lock, you are locked down like that, but you got your property. You know what I'm saying? Like you allowed a certain amount of clothes and music, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, let me get back to the point. So I'm down there, and I was vibing with older dudes off the rip. You know what I mean? Like I usually vibe with older dudes. And a lot of dudes were not a lot, but you had a fair amount of dudes who were revolutionary minded, who were a little more conscious, who started waking up, who started seeing the bigger picture. And I learned from these dudes. A lot of these dudes were militant. Some of them, they was from various backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? I had dudes I vibe with, white, black, Latino. Like I really didn't. I wasn't one of the dudes who just stuck to your own type of philosophy. Like they have a lot of prison. New York people are separated, people are segregated, but it's not like the way you hear the stories in California and all that. But so I was a little more revolutionary minded, and part of that was learning how to when the police violate your rights, learning how to protect yourself by writing up. You start with grievance, you start with lawsuits, this, down the third. So these cops didn't like me. So now at the time, a lot of these dudes who were revolutionary minded, they was all growing dreads. What I do, being young, influenced, grew dreads. Police in Attica hated seeing me with dreadlocks. Hated that. That's off the rip. And I remember I had little dreadlocks in my head growing right short, and I was thinking about cutting it off because it was like pain in the ass. And I'm going out to the yard one day, and police put me on the wall. Right, you got 40 people going out to the yard. Police might be like, "You step out the line, put your hands on the wall." And when else go out to the yard, now it's you and 6, 7, 8 police by yourself. And this is when they get this. This is when they be pounding dudes out. And I'm, had me on the wall. They kick my feet back, so you so spread out you can barely hold yourself on the wall. So that way, I'm unable to fight. I'm unable to throw a punch. I'm unable to throw a kick. I'm unable to do anything because you're so spread out on that wall, and you got them all right up on you. And like, take your hand off the wall. Take your hand off the wall. They said, yo, what you got dreadlocks in your hair for? You want to be an N-word?